Good morning. The status conference is called to order. I'm President James Brown, Commissioner for District 3. I am the presiding officer for today's conference. For the record, the time is 10 a.m. and the date is Thursday, January 18, 2023. This is the time set for the status conference in docket number 2021.12.134. This conference is not being transcribed. However, it is being live streamed and recorded. Will the council identify themselves and who they are representing?
Michael Uda on behalf of Caithness Beaver Creek.
Good morning, Anna Ketchkage for CBC or Caithness Beaver Creek.
Ann Hill on behalf of Northwestern Energy.
James Pollard, Montana Consumer Council.
All right, thank you, council, and good morning and welcome. Purpose of today's conference is to discuss procedural deadlines required to carry out the First Judicial District Court's January 10, 2023 order on additional evidence motion. As the parties are well aware, under that order, the commission must receive additional evidence on or before February 28, 2023 and issue any subsequent findings and decision based on the new evidence on or before March 31st, 2023. Mr. Uda, since it was your motion to receive additional evidence and the reason why we're here this morning, I will let you go first. What kind of process would you propose to meet the district court's order for the receipt of additional evidence and arguments on the effect of that evidence, Mr. Uda?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe that Ms. Hill and I from Northwestern have worked out a stipulation. I don't believe the facts are in dispute. I think the issue is the legal consequence of those facts. So my team, without overcommitting them, I think probably sometime next week we'll submit a stipulation. We'll circulate it first to Northwestern. Ms. Hill and I will both sign on behalf of our respective clients. I don't know if the Consumer Council wants to be involved in this or not. And then we were going to propose a briefing schedule to kind of wrap things up. And it looks like, Anna, you guys agreed on this?
Well, so I guess, yeah, we can come up with a date as to the entry of a stipulated fact sheet. I think Michael have talked about fact sheet as opposed to an affidavit. But a stipulation between the parties as factual scenario. I'm thinking we could deadline for that well before February. For a briefing schedule, I've proposed to the parties. It sounds like I'll let the other parties say whether they're in agreement or not, but CBC would propose February 8th for an opening brief from CBC, February 24th for a response brief from Western and the MCC if they wish to participate, and then March 10th for CBC.
I'm sorry, Ms. Keshkesh, what was the, so initial brief was 2/8, response brief was 2/1?
2/24. And then the last for a reply brief, the last date would be March 10th for 3.
All right. Northwestern Energy, any comment on that?
Good morning, Commissioner. Northwestern is fine with this proposal. We anticipate like the stipulated facts being very limited to basically Northwestern not proceeding forward with the Beartooth project. And we're fine with the briefing schedule.
James, I don't know if you've had opportunity to review what's been proposed, but do you have any thoughts or comments at this point in time?
I just want to double check. All of this should be fine. I just want to double check with the MDU rate case about making sure that there aren't any deadlines that the March 10th wouldn't affect us. So the schedule should work for us.
Okay, very good. Did the parties contemplate having the commission hold oral argument?
Ann and I didn't talk about that, but I mean, I personally, unless somebody's really burning to do it, I don't think it would be necessary.
Yeah, we're fine with briefing unless the commission thinks it'd be helpful to explain the issues.
James?
We're fine with briefing.
All right. Is there any other matters parties would like to raise this morning or discuss with the commission?
Just want to make sure before we do this stipulation of facts, the commission seems to be okay with that procedure. Like the attorneys signing off on stipulated facts.
At this point, I don't see any issue with that. It is always better for the commission if the parties are able to work collaboratively and jointly on scheduling matters. So at this point, I see no issues from the commission's end. We will wait for the stipulation, but we do have the dates noted that you've proposed. I don't see an issue there as well. Any other matters? Catch.
Just maybe very briefly, Mr. Chairman, I'm just wondering about a deadline for, I don't know that we need to put it in, I guess, on staff action, but I guess Northwestern and CBC have committed to submitting that stipulation probably within the next week. That's acceptable.
Ms. Hill?
Yeah, I think if we can't, for some reason, we're gonna have to come back to the commission for something. But I don't expect that to happen, so I think.
All right, my only response back to that would be that we would welcome and expect now a stipulation to be filed. If one is not filed, the commission will unilaterally set timeframes at that point in time so that we don't need another status conference. Any other matters? All right. Seeing no other matters to come before us, for the record, the time is now 10:07 a.m. Again, the date is January 19th, 2023. The status conference is adjourned. Thank you for coming to the commission this morning.